So I felt like making OH walkthrough solves. I don't know how good the solutions will be because it's kind of late and I'm not really warmed up, but let's just give it a go. Yeah, so this first one, the main thing I'm seeing to look at is this edge which is matched up with the center. So I'm going to start by looking at green. And so on, it looks like on green white, we can pair this with one move to make like a half line. And one first block I'm seeing that could come from that is U prime R2 FR D prime R2 F. Basically, that's putting this down here and then getting it to the spot where it's one move away, and then just like inserting a corner after we're done with everything. But that leads DR to be flipped in place. So what could I do? Oh, actually, okay. So instead, I can do, I'll just show it basically. So U prime to pair that up, and then R2 to start doing R2F to insert this down here. But then if I do a U2, then that pairs that up so that then when I do this R, then all I have to do is just insert that, and then that's great. So I guess now we've got SS to worry about. So let's just think about what would be a cool way of doing that. Okay, so I can actually pair up this corner to this edge and then do that. I probably wouldn't see that in a solve, but it seems pretty efficient. Oh, and then I can go like this to finish off that second block. So that was a pretty cool solution. This com case has an F wide alg like that. Oh, and then this LZ is kind of a joke. So yeah, that would be a nice solve. Okay, so this one, I'm seeing a lot of green yellow propaganda. So you can do LD prime B prime to solve this square. And then that actually gives you a pretty decent rest of the first block, and it actually sets up your second block pretty nicely. So I'm just going to go for that. So D prime, B prime, aka F wide prime, then U prime, R2, F. And then I was like kind of doing an inspection, but I didn't really want to talk through the whole tracing of it. So I peeked down here to kind of cheat, but in a solve, I would be able to know what it was. We can do M prime, R wide, like that to make this pair. And then if we do U, R prime, U2, R, which is sometimes my default way of solving cases, I guess, then we don't have quite as nice of a continuation as if we do this. Because if we go like that, then we can go like RM, and then we're like straight to this point. That probably isn't that much better than alternative though, because it's a pretty good case if we've done it the other way. Then this CMLL, I use this alg for one-headed. And then for this, I would go like this to set up to misoriented centers error, then just solve that and then do 4C. So that was the second solve. I'll probably do 5. Just making sure the tripod's still stable. Cool. So on this one, we've got this pair. So let's look at that. I do not believe red, white is very good. So, okay, I like blue. So we see this pair. If you do an F2, it'll be paired. And then DUB, is it B? Yeah, DUB, R2, F2 will be kind of good. Okay, basically F2 solves that, and then if we just like proceed as normal to solve the square, then this ends up being here, so it's like an R2, F2 away from having that solved and having DR solved as well, actually. So I'll just do that, and then for this, I would go like that, and then do this. I probably should have said what those moves did, but hopefully you can see. Now, in this situation, I would probably actually go for the IUD alg, because usually I would do the F wide alg. That's like the inverse of the one I did on, I think, the first solve. But because we're already AUF like this is the AUF you need for IUD, and I'd have to do a U2 for the other alg, and it's like quite a good error. I'm just going to preserve that and go like this. And then, so I can go like that to solve that. And then it really paid off because I got a 2-move 4C. These LSEs have been kind of lucky, honestly. So I just did a solve where I like kept on saying the wrong thing, and then like it was just not helpful at all. So I'm doing a different full solve. Yeah, I probably should have done this earlier in the day. So let's look at this one. We've got, okay, this is good. So if we do RF2, that solves that edge, and then D will solve a square. But the second pair for this is like not exactly the best. Actually, it's pretty good. But I was looking at doing something else. Okay, I don't even remember what my other thing was now, so we're just going to go with this because it's actually a good solution. So if we do R, F2, D, then we just have 3 more moves to solve that. And then we have this great position for the DR. We have 1 move away from a pair being done, so I'm just going to do R prime and then solve that. So I can just do that, and then I'm just going to solve that too, Jen. This is an anti-Niklas. So I always like to do these with the wide moves most of the time. So then it's really easy to predict everything after that. That's a great case. And then just MU to M. Cool. So for this last one, gonna look at that pair again. Okay, so we could probably do something kind of interesting here. Because I'm just thinking about this and then how that plays into that pair. Okay, so what I'm going to do is D prime U and actually start with solving this pair, because then when you do that, it's going to solve that, and then I can do U2 F prime, which I generally would prefer to over RY2, just because it's like a bit nicer for my fingers, I guess. And then that also puts DR in like, this might be my favorite spot for it to be in, honestly. And we have this super nice SS, we can just go like that, and then it gives us a really good pair for this as well. So honestly, crazy good second block. This is the case we had before, except I'm going to do the normal alg for it. And then this is just a very standard ELR solution. And then let's do that. So thank you for watching. Hopefully that was somewhat helpful, but I don't think it was. We'll see.